and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. We have returning guest Gary Dacanay. How are you?
I am well. Good to see you, man.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I said to have you back when you get your album or EP or
My
your
EP.
music your musical opus out.
Yes.
So I thought we could talk about just the songs on it, a little bit about
Okay,
it, and then we can and what's going on with you and where people can check you out.
cool.
Let's start with the beginning of was this album was there's four songs on it. I actually have
hmm
it up here called Random Road. Now is was it start when was it started?
The writing process or the recording?
Well, either or.
Um, well, the fourth song was actually a single from 11 years ago, which stopped being played on iTunes when Apple took over. So I did a reprise of that. And the other three tunes I've been playing live over the past like 5, 6 years.
Mhm.
And I felt the need to finally record these songs. And the recording process took about 10 months
Mhm.
because I had to keep working, keep teaching, and um, I worked with Scott Bellardo on drums and Justin Butcher on bass. And they did a great job. We rehearsed and just knocked it out because they played with me and played these songs live. So it worked
Oh,
out
okay,
well.
so yeah, so no, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Same guitar. Would you use for guitar now?
I'm using my Telecaster. It's right here. I rewired it 6 times and now it's where I want it to be. So,
6 times. What are you trying to get? Jeez.
yeah, I mean, actually, one of my students, Romeo, always sends me pickups. And he said, try these. And so I went from Bill Lawrence to Mojo Tone to Seymour Duncan, then back to the original pickups, then back to Seymour Duncan. And I'm going to stick with Seymour Duncan. The Brad Paisley models, the La Breas, they
Hmm.
have a little more mid punch for the Telecaster sound, so it cuts through playing live, and I really like it. And it's it has more depth to the tone.
I've been hearing good things about that actually. A lot of musicians are like checking it out and digging it,
Yeah, I
which
mean,
you don't usually hear that much from. You don't usually hear a lot of artists talking about their pickups unless they ask them. I'm actually hearing people talk about this pickup for some reason.
yeah, when I switched amps, I'm using a Vox Night Train, and I think Brad Paisley um, maybe used Vox, or he went to Dr. Z amps, and they're loosely modeled after Vox amps.
Yeah,
So,
I got a Vox.
okay, yeah, great. So these pickups work well with that style of tube amps. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out. So the process of what you do like nights and weekends type of deal or whatever year because you teach different hours and stuff. So it's really just trying to find time. Was it a
Yeah.
studio? Did you have a certain guy? Were you producing it? What was the
Yeah.
process?
And Michael Papatonis, he actually produced Let the Rain Fall, which was my first single 11 years ago.
Hmm.
And he's great with drums, he's great with vocals. And I kind of fight with him on guitar tones, just being a guitar player. And but we work it out. And so he recorded and engineered the whole EP. And I really like how he approaches vocals because you need someone who hears things that you don't hear, and he pushes me the right way to get the most out of my playing and my singing, and at the end of the day, the mix. So yeah, "Long Dark Night" is a song that it's like kind of like the Whipping Post, Allman Brothers,
Hmm.
kind of 6/8 feel, and it's about a long breakup. It's about a divorce, and just going through those hardships. Um, it takes time to work those through, and sometimes it takes songs a long time to develop. And this is part of that process. Some songs I just don't write like that, and let's go, let's play it live. But this was like an arduous effort and probably because the character of the song and the process that I was going through took time. And at the end result, I'm really happy with it, with what I tried to
When
portray.
you do that, you write a really good song, and it is actually how you get through something. I always wonder, like afterwards, like then the song gets played a lot, and everyone likes it. Are you like reliving that moment over and over again? You know what I mean?
In a sense, I
It's like
am,
torture.
but I'm in a different place, and because I got it out of my head and out of my body, and I'm expressing it in a different way, it's less painful, and I could shine light on it and almost have a sense of humor about it. Because when I play it, I used to play it at open mics to test drive it, and I'd say, "Yeah, here's another song about a breakup," and then, or this is what I'd say. I would say, "Here's a happy song. It's called Long Dark Night." So I get the audience kind of worked up, and then I play the song, and actually I feel better about it, and hopefully that carries
Yeah.
it to the audience.
And everyone else, yeah, you feel better about it. Everyone else is like bummed out. Like I thought I was going to play something upbeat.
Yeah, I bring everyone down, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's the whole EP is really good. Um, it's an interesting choice too to start off with too, kind of emotional, to kind of
Yeah,
dedicate the pace.
I wanted to hit hard because of the rhythmic nature of the song. Um, I just wanted to come out swinging, and just one of the inspirations is actually Martin Scorsese. When I saw in an interview, he said, "The most personal is the most creative." So I really wanted to be authentic and honest and even brutal about this song, and get it out, at least out of my system, into another form. So it's a creative process, and I wanted that first song to be that. So, and it seems to work.
No, it does. I mean, I like to hear the story behind like how you came up with the song choice. So, track two,
Yeah.
the reason for it, Better Off Dead, the reason for it, and the whole. Let's break it down.
Better Off Dead. Well, the hook is your blue eyes can now see red. Our love unreal is better off dead. So it's kind of tongue in cheek. Um, and I hope to have a sense of humor in actually all my songs. But this was another dark moment where it's actually another relationship that followed the divorce. And I never really processed either one until at the beginning of one year, I said, I'm going to write 10 songs in 10 days, write one song every day for 10 days, just as an experiment. And I would just force myself for an hour to write. And I would churn out these songs and actually play them for Steve. And he said, you know what? After each song, he'd say, these songs are getting better. And then I played them at some open mics. Like half the songs I write actually make it to a performance place, a performance level, which is pretty good because I have friends who will write like 30 songs and only like 5 of them get played. So if like half my songs make it to a performance, then I'm feeling good. So in the process of like forcing myself to write and getting out this catharsis of transformation, um, uh, some good songs made it out, and this is one of them. And so I'm happy with it. It's kind of like a Funky Meters type of blues meets Freddie King, and I hit the wah wah solo really hard, and that was a one take solo because I was trying to get the track to DC McCullough, who's the
Yeah.
keyboard player, to do Hammond B3. And he said, I sent him the rhythm track, and he says, well, I need to hear some vocals, and I need to hear what I could play and weave in and out, because I don't want to like overplay on top of the vocals or the guitar solo. So I did a scratch vocal track, I did a scratch guitar solo, and I nailed it on the first try with the guitar solo. I said, I'm keeping that guitar solo. But the thing is, I probably couldn't play it now unless I really
Practice.
slowed it down and transcribed it. But that was a first take guitar solo.
Wow. So you're well. I mean, you play the song out though, don't you? You play that,
Yeah,
right?
I've played that, and actually, the solo for Long Dark Night, I labored over that. It took a couple months, and I went like measure by measure, note by note, because there's chord changes and it modulates to four different keys. And I don't know why I did it like that. There was a Muddy Waters song off Electric Mud, which does that also, and I was kind of inspired by that. So that's a
Nice.
solo that took forever. So it took like 2 months to write that guitar solo, and then the next song I did in one take, the guitar solo.
Wow.
So you never know what a guitar solo how it can evolve.
At least you recognized it and you saved it. You didn't be like, I can do better. Delete. You know,
Right?
you
It's hard
saved
to
it.
yeah. Getting to a point where you say this is done
Mhm.
is a good place to be. Sometimes you just have to say this is the finish line, and but if you know inside you can keep going, then you got to keep going.
That's when it's good to have a producer or work with a partner that can,
Yeah,
you know, say, enough, we're done. We need to walk away.
yeah, absolutely, and
You're going
that's
down that
hard.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, because um, yeah. So the third song is a song called "Play It Cool," and that definitely has another funky meters vibe. I'm really heavily influenced by like New Orleans musicians, Neville Brothers, uh, all that vibe. So that has like the soca drum rhythms and a little bit of mambo in there, like Lalo Schifrin, Mission Impossible. And DC on keyboard, he just like rips a killer Hammond B3 solo at the end. And, the
So
chorus is
he
what?
play with you also? Does he play with you a lot too?
DC is a friend from high school, and this is back in the metal days. And we've always wanted to play in a band, and it's like the timing of things it never really worked out. And we finally, after 30 years, you know, been doing recordings remotely. I would send stuff through Dropbox, say, "Can you finish this off?" And when he had time, he does movie soundtracks, and he's like won awards like all over the world for his movie soundtracks. And I said, when you have time, can you sprinkle a little salsa and magic on that and send it back? And
Well, it makes sense that he's actually he continues to be a professional because it wasn't like, yeah, we did in high school. I sent it to him. He plays once in a while in the band. Like he jams, really. So
yeah,
it's really good. So
he's serious. He plays bass in a band called Colleen Wild and the Haunted, and they're in the Chicago area, and they're great. So I hope at some point, we meet up live, but just been recording remotely. Yeah.
that's great. And it's great to have your friends and your band. I mean, it's been a pretty nice uh, collaboration. You know,
Yeah, and I'm happy with my power trio with Justin Butcher's on bass. I haven't mentioned him, and he plays around in Cleveland a lot, and he's just got this bluesy, funky, soulful vibe about his playing, and um, I couldn't be more happy with his performance, as well as Scott. Scott and I played like for the past 10, 12 years, um, playing everything from rock, jazz, blues, and my original stuff. So he's great.
did you collaborate at all with your? I know sometimes your son does stuff too. Was your son involved at all?
Oh, he actually did the previous. I had two previous singles, and Steve produced "Take It Slow," which is a blues, and then my son produced my country riff. I wrote a pseudo country riff, and he did the mix for that, and he lined up the vocals and split the guitar solo. He did a great job engineering that, and I hope to work with my son more. He does his own hip hop stuff, and he's kind of in his own space, which is great. I kind of go there with him. Like I'll throw some like metal track on like some of his hip hop stuff, but I have to let him do his own thing because that's what I would have wanted.
I
Like,
guess. I don't
Dad,
know.
this is my stuff.
I don't know if my dad ripped on guitar, I'd be like, that's cool. Let's jam. You
Yeah.
know, that's
And
awesome.
he sings too, and he raps, and he's got a really good concept of what he creates with his
Man, everybody in your family does a little something, huh? Musical,
yeah. And Steve on his last album with Bug Cherry, that's like the bomb, that production.
right?
Yeah. So I think that's their best album yet, production wise. And even songwriting wise, it's really strong, especially if you're have an 80s background with
Well,
music.
I think, yeah, but I mean, there's something I always like the fact that they always, to me, they stand on like both sides of the fence with their rock, but they have a
Mhm.
great melody. I mean, they're really rock, but they
Yeah.
always have a really good melody. I love that. You know,
Yeah.
I,
Great
I
hook.
yeah, and there was one song when I first heard. I was like, I'm out of my mind. I can't think of what it was now. I had a message to Stevie. I'm like, oh my god, this album's ridiculous. Yeah, I was excited when I first heard it. I had to text him. I'm
And
like, this is insane.
yeah, there's more vocal harmonies, which is great. And I know Steve has a lot to do with that. And the guitar sound is just like really crunchy and spongy, and it has claws.
It's a good sound. I think it's really great because I think him and Billy have been playing together more. I think when Billy
Yeah.
joined last time, they hadn't been together or the album was done or something. Like Billy wasn't really involved. I think I could be wrong as
Mhm.
much. Like so now they've been on tour together, and now they're
Yeah, it's
recording
good to have
together.
that.
It's a little different. So I think that energy may have rubbed off too. My
And
guess.
Frank Francis on drums is just killing it. And when I heard it, it was like it hit me in the chest. And I made sure to let him know I messaged him. It's great stuff.
It, it is a really good album, but this is great. And I was actually I'm like, yeah, two great albums from both
Yeah.
the brothers in a short period of time.
Mine's a short EP, but
The short
yeah,
EP with the Wind of Time, both you guys come out with new stuff. I was like, this is really great.
yeah, I'm really happy with what I put out because it's like the litmus test. I've been putting out singles, and I wanted to put at least some type of collaboration or compilation, and to put out 3 or 4 songs at once in a package,
Hmm.
and that makes sense, where the songs are connected. I feel really good about, and that's leading to the next step, which is an album, because I have about 8 to 10 songs that are ready to record. But I talked to a couple people I keep in contact with for arranging, and I just said I'm going to write to the end of this year and get as many songs together, and then at the beginning of next year I'll whittle it down to like 11 or 12 and start recording an album. So this EP is a good test for the timing of how much time it takes within my lifestyle and my budget to put together a compilation. So if this took like about 8 months, now I know what it'll take to triple that um, in hopefully the same amount of time.
Or half that because you know what you're doing now. Once you're already a couple songs in, if they're going. You know.
Yeah, and I got the musicians to do it. They're tight. They know what to do.
So actually, with and then the last song, which I love, and I had my own opinion on it. I noticed some changes on it. It's
Uh,
I love it.
Thanks, man. You're part of the inspiration for me to bring that back because it kind of got swept under the rug because of all the changes in the music industry. And I'm the type of person who doesn't like to go backwards. So I just
Hmm.
kept going forward, writing music, writing songs, and putting out singles and just trying to move forward. And then people keep asking about Let the Rain Fall. I say, when are you going to play that? I love that song. And like friends who heard that when it first came out said, "Are you going to play Let the Rain Fall?" And it's just like, I haven't even touched it. And then when you brought it up, I was like, I have to bring this back. So
It's a good song. It was good. And the range, and you looks like you changed some of the arrangements around a little bit, punched it up a little bit more
yeah, I put
to where I
uh,
heard it. That's why I heard it when I first. I'm like, this is what this needs is extra right here, here, and here. Everything's perfect. Just to be shuffled around more because it's so good.
yeah, Michael tapped a little more mastering magic on it, and I had to actually relearn how to play it on guitar and sing it because it's been so long since I actually uh, embodied it. Because when you perform a song, you have to like put your whole mind and consciousness into it, because otherwise you're just going through the motions. And uh, for a song that I've written, it's like a personal thing. It's not like I can pick up the guitar and say, okay, I'm going to cover Little Wing and try and do justice for Jimmy. When it's for myself, it's like personal, more personal, and it's just like, okay, can I dig up those emotions again and then recreate a new energy for it? So it's exciting to do that. So.
And it seems like a lot of bad relationships is the pattern. So you're gonna have to get into a lot of bad relationships in the next year to finish
Yeah.
off some more songs.
Yeah. Well,
All that
hopefully
heartbreak for you.
I have to come up with other subject material. Maybe things will be a little more lighthearted.
The happy album. What happened? The last album was so heavy. So happy
Yeah,
this one. Um,
I'm
it's
driven by
great.
darkness.
Darkest, yeah, it drives you. That might be album title for your next one. Random Road, Driven by Darkness. You got a whole theme there.
Or maybe out of the darkness.
There you go. Um, so are you playing out a lot? Like working? Are you working this or
um,
what?
I'm actually not. I did a solo show, solo acoustic, and probably do a couple more solo shows, and hopefully play some full band shows. I want to get the right places and make sure I can support my band. And um, if when I get the album out, I definitely want to get more full band shows and line up performances. So I'm kind of like in a writing phase and experimenting phase,
Hmm.
and uh, I like
I
where
think
I'm
it's
going.
good though to go out and play, especially when you're in
Yeah,
a writing phase. Take a break and go out and play. You know.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, do a few shows before the year's out and get back to the studio. I like the process of writing, recording, and maybe I like it too much, and I don't like the process of booking shows and playing, but I should get there.
You're not alone. A lot of artists like that. That's why it seems like people go into the studio and they take forever. Sometimes they just think they don't want to leave. They just like it.
Yeah, it's over time, it's a gratifying process
Mhm.
to it's like painting a picture or doing a film where being in the process is really great, and so is releasing it. And so you have to weigh both sides and then get to the next part, which for music is performing it, which I need to get to.
Yeah. Otherwise,
And
you get wrapped up. You get wrapped up in recording it. You know, your brother is going to be like, "Hey, it took us 10 days to record a whole album." So,
yeah, I know they do it quick, and they work together well. And
yeah, it's
I'm
just you. There's no, you have no one to fight, argue with. It's just you. You can do 10 days. Do
that
nine.
that's true, and I have to do it within my resources.
I'm just busted on you. Just busted on you. No, but it is a good album. EP. I
Thank you.
encourage you to check it out. I'll put the link up. But it's also on iTunes,
Yes, iTunes, all the major
Spotify, Amazon, yeah, yeah,
Apple.
yeah, Apple. Yeah. So it's all there. People can check it out. I'll put the link for you. You want your Facebook link up, or do you want your website or?
You could do Instagram at Gary Dacanay Band, Gary underscore Dacanay underscore
Yep.
band. And then Facebook, yeah, Gary Dacanay Band.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, man, thanks. You've been on the show. It's been awesome.
Thanks, Sean. You've been an inspiration.